Bread has been a staple of human civilization for thousands of years. Revered as the staff of life, it nourished communities, fueled empires, and provided comfort through the ages. From the ancient Egyptians who baked flatbreads in clay ovens to the medieval peasants who relied on dense loaves to sustain their labor, bread has been central to human existence. Subscribe and comment for more videos. However, in recent years, many have turned away from this once venerated food, citing health concerns and digestive issues. What has happened to the humble loaf that once sustained our ancestors? This comprehensive exploration delves into the historical significance of bread, the changes it has undergone, and the implications for our health today. For millennia, bread was more than just a food item. It was a cultural cornerstone. In ancient civilizations, bread was often associated with life itself. The Egyptians, for example, made bread from emmer wheat, which was ground into flour and mixed with water to create a dough that was then baked into flatbreads. The process of making bread was not only a daily chore, but also a communal activity, with families gathering to prepare and bake. Bread was often shared as a symbol of hospitality, and its presence at the table signified abundance. In medieval Europe, bread continued to hold immense significance. For the average peasant, bread constituted a substantial portion of their diet, often accounting for up to 70% of their caloric intake. The average person consumed several pounds of bread daily, enabling them to perform grueling labor in fields and workshops. Bakers of the time relied on simple ingredients: flour, water, salt, and sometimes yeast. This straightforward recipe yielded loaves that were nutritious and satisfying. Medieval bread was typically made from coarsely ground flour that retained much of the grain's nutrients. The slow fermentation process allowed natural yeasts and bacteria to develop, enhancing the flavor and nutritional profile of the bread. Bakers often let the dough rise for hours or even overnight, which allowed the gluten to develop fully. This lengthy fermentation process was not only a matter of tradition, but a necessity for creating bread that was easy to digest and nutritionally rich. The 20th century brought unprecedented changes to food production, particularly with the rise of industrial agriculture. The goal was straightforward: to feed a booming population cheaply and efficiently. However, this ambition led to significant alterations in wheat cultivation and bread production. Farmers began using hybrid strains of wheat that produced higher yields but sacrificed nutritional quality. This shift was epitomized by the introduction of high-yield varieties, which were bred specifically for maximum production. Modern wheat, bred for its ability to withstand harsh conditions, has a vastly different gluten structure than its ancient counterparts. The milling process also transformed dramatically during this period. Instead of stone milling, which preserved the grain's natural oils and nutrients, roller mills stripped away the bran and germ, leaving behind a refined endosperm that is essentially pure starch. This processing not only diminished the bread's nutritional profile, but also altered how our bodies respond to it. The transition from stone mills to roller mills marked a significant shift in bread production. Roller milling, introduced in the late 19th century, allowed for faster and more efficient grain processing. However, this method came at a cost. The high-speed milling generated heat, which destroyed valuable nutrients in the wheat. The result was a white flour that lacked the vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats found in whole grain flour. When you pick up a loaf of commercial bread today, the ingredient list can be alarming. Enriched flour, high fructose corn syrup, emulsifiers, preservatives, and other additives are common. These substances are included to enhance shelf life, texture, and flavor, but they come at a significant cost to health. The bleaching agents used to achieve that pristine white color are just one example of the chemical alterations modern bread undergoes. Many of these ingredients are unnecessary and may be harmful to our health. Studies have linked some food additives to gastrointestinal issues, allergies, and other chronic conditions. The nutritional differences between ancient and modern wheat are staggering. Heritage varieties such as einkorn and emmer contain higher levels of protein, vitamins, and essential fatty acids. These ancient grains are easier for our bodies to digest, allowing for better nutrient absorption and less inflammation. In contrast, modern wheat often lacks the vital nutrients found in its predecessors. The refining process removes the bran and germ, which are rich in fiber, B vitamins, and healthy fats. What remains is a product that spikes blood sugar levels and offers little in terms of sustained energy or nutrition. As modern bread became more prevalent, reports of gluten sensitivity and celiac disease began to rise. Once a rare condition, celiac disease has increased dramatically over the past few decades, with some statistics indicating a 400% rise since the 1950s. The rise of non-celiac gluten sensitivity has further fueled the debate around gluten, leading many to believe that wheat itself is toxic. However, what many people fail to recognize is that the wheat consumed today is not the same as that which nourished our ancestors. The genetic modifications and processing methods have transformed this staple into something unrecognizable. Research indicates that the gluten in modern wheat can trigger significantly higher immune responses compared to heritage varieties. A study conducted at the University of Kansas found that modern wheat contains unique gliadin proteins that are not present in ancient varieties. These proteins can be resistant to digestive enzymes, passing through the stomach and small intestine largely intact, thereby provoking immune responses in susceptible individuals. Modern bread often lacks essential nutrients that are crucial for maintaining overall health. The refining process strips away fiber, leading to a product that can contribute to digestive issues and poor gut health. In contrast, traditional bread, made from whole grains, contained a wealth of fiber, which is vital for digestive health and satiety. Heritage grains such as einkorn have a much more favorable nutritional profile. They are rich in protein, vitamins, and minerals. For example, einkorn contains 30% more protein than modern wheat and has higher levels of beta-carotene and lutein, which are beneficial for eye health. The reduction in nutrients has far-reaching implications for public health. As more people consume modern bread, which lacks these essential nutrients, we see a corresponding rise in chronic health issues. The lack of fiber contributes to digestive disorders, while the absence of key vitamins and minerals can lead to deficiencies that impact overall health. Fermentation is another critical factor that has been lost in the modern bread-making process. Traditional bread was often allowed to ferment for hours or even days, allowing natural yeasts and bacteria to break down complex carbohydrates and proteins. This process made the bread easier to digest and increased its nutritional value. In stark contrast, modern bread is often mixed, risen, and baked within a few hours. This rushed process prevents the natural fermentation that is crucial for breaking down anti-nutrients like phytic acid and lectins, which can irritate the gut and hinder nutrient absorption. During fermentation, beneficial bacteria produce lactic acid, which creates an acidic environment that helps break down phytic acid. This transformation enhances the bioavailability of minerals, such as iron, zinc, and calcium. By the time the bread is baked, it has undergone a fundamental change, making it easier for our bodies to digest and absorb its nutrients. The impact of modern bread on blood sugar levels cannot be overstated. The glycemic index (GI) of white bread is higher than that of many sugary snacks, leading to rapid spikes in blood glucose levels. This causes the pancreas to release insulin to manage the glucose surge, resulting in a crash that leaves you hungry again shortly after eating. In contrast, traditional bread, with its intact fiber and slow fermentation, has a much lower glycemic response. It releases energy gradually, keeping you full and stabilizing blood sugar levels. This is one reason why medieval peasants could work long hours in the fields without suffering from the metabolic diseases that plague modern society. In recent years, there has been a resurgence of interest in heritage grains and traditional bread-making methods. Small-scale farmers and artisanal bakers are rediscovering ancient wheat varieties and stone milling techniques, bringing back the nutritional benefits that were lost in industrial processing. These bakers often use sourdough fermentation, which not only enhances flavor but also improves digestibility. Many people who previously thought they could never eat bread again are finding that they can enjoy these traditional loaves without adverse effects. This revival is not just about bread. It represents a broader movement towards sustainable local food systems. Consumers are becoming more aware of where their food comes from and how it is produced. By supporting local bakers and farmers, we can reclaim our health and our connection to the land. As we look back at the evolution of bread, it becomes clear that the real issue is not gluten itself, but rather the way modern bread is produced. The industrial food system has prioritized profit over health, leading to a product that is far removed from what our ancestors consumed. To reclaim our health, it's essential to seek out real food. This means looking for bakers who use heritage grains, making bread from scratch using traditional methods, or even reducing bread consumption and opting for unprocessed grains like oats, barley, and quinoa. Consumers have the power to make informed choices about the foods they eat. By seeking out local, organic, and minimally processed foods, we can support sustainable agriculture and improve our health. The knowledge of how to make and consume real bread has not been lost. It simply requires a willingness to return to our roots. The journey of bread from a staple of life to a source of health concerns is a cautionary tale. It highlights the importance of understanding where our food comes from and how it is produced. By choosing to support local bakers and farmers who prioritize nutrition and sustainability, we can reclaim our health one loaf at a time. The knowledge of how to make and consume real bread has not been lost. It simply requires a willingness to return to our roots. As we navigate the complexities of modern food systems, it's vital to remember the lessons of history. Bread has been a cornerstone of human civilization for millennia, and it can be again if we choose to prioritize health over convenience. Every time we opt for real bread over industrial imitations, we take a step toward reclaiming our health, our heritage, and our connection to the past. The choice is ours to continue down the path of industrialization or to embrace the wisdom of our ancestors. So the next time you reach for a loaf of bread, consider its journey. Is it truly bread or merely a shadow of what bread once was? The answer may change how you view not just your meals, but your health and well-being. In conclusion, understanding the evolution of bread provides valuable insights into our dietary choices today. A return to heritage grains and traditional bread-making methods could hold the key to improving our health and reconnecting with a vital part of our culinary history. By making informed choices and advocating for real food, we can create a healthier future for ourselves and generations to come.